Okay, everybody, it's me, Stephanie, your Motor City migrant here. Um, okay, we made it back from Cuba. We did our road trip, and I learned a lot of things that I want to share with you, kind of to go back to some of the things we talked about in How to Travel to Cuba 101. So, first of all, getting around, traveling. We did have some issues with our rental car. First of all, we rented a Jeep because we knew that the road was going to be rocky and rough and we would need the Jeep. However, a week or so before we left, we got notice that the Jeep wasn't available. It had a mechanical issue and couldn't be fixed in time. So we wound up with a small Peugeot 301, I think. Wasn't exactly what we wanted. So that was problem number one. Problem number two, the morning I went to pick up the rental car at 9 o'clock, like they told me or like I had reserved, the car wasn't there. Just wasn't there yet. I should come back after lunch, he told me. So we wound up getting the car about 4 hours late, which really impacted our travel that day. Um, so yeah, also renting a car was quite expensive. It was close to $100 a day. So just so you know, we did have some issues with renting the car. Um, our biggest problem, though, was the issue with the gas shortage. There's currently a gas shortage in Cuba. It's June 2022 right now, and there's some serious gas shortages. A lot of times on the road, we came to gas stations that were just out of gas. That was it. They were out of gas. And others had gas, but there was no electricity because there's also currently some rolling blackouts going on in Cuba, all over Cuba, maybe except Havana. Everywhere else had these blackouts once or twice a day of anywhere from 2 to 8 hours. They were supposed to be scheduled, but they didn't follow a schedule. So when we were on the road trying to get gas, we couldn't get gas because there was no gas, or there were certain gas stations that were only for like emergency vehicles and taxis and buses, or there was gas but no power. So because of all this, right now I would recommend that you don't rent a car, that you don't rent a car and drive across Cuba. We had a bit of a harrowing journey with all of those things considered. We made it, but I wouldn't rent a car. We did end up taking a bus back from Baracoa. All the we went from Havana to Baracoa by car, and then we drove from Baracoa to Santiago de Cuba by car. But then we took the Via Azul bus, and it was pretty nice. The bus was nicer than I thought it would be. It was an overnight bus, 16-hour ride. It was nice and comfy. It was big. It was new. The seats reclined quite a bit, so we could actually sleep on the bus. But there are some things to know. First of all, you have to buy your tickets online through their website, which I'll make sure I link below, which is an easy process because apparently it's routed through Spain, through a Spanish bank or something. So you can use American credit cards. You know, American credit cards can't be used throughout the island, but you can use them to buy these bus tickets. Actually, what you buy isn't a ticket, it's a voucher. And then when you show up at the bus station, they actually handwrite you a little ticket. And that's what you use to get on the bus. Which brings me to my next point about the buses. Don't be late. They say be there 2 or 3 hours ahead of time. Be there early. Just do it. Especially if you have a later in the evening trip, because when the kiosk closes or the desk closes where you get your bus ticket, you're SOL. You're not getting on the bus. So make sure you follow the instructions. Get there early. When you go up to check in at the desk, they'll take your evidence of, having gotten your ticket online, which you'll need all your passport information and everything for, by the way. So make sure you have your passport ready when you go to buy the tickets. And then they'll write you a little hand ticket, and then you go to the waiting room and you wait until it's time to go. The buses are actually on time. A lot of things run on Cuban time, in Cuba, like getting our car 4 hours late and things like that. But the buses run on time. So our bus was supposed to leave at 10 p.m. and arrive 16 hours later. It left at 10 p.m. and it arrived 16 hours and 35 minutes later. So I think that 35 minutes really doesn't count on a 16-hour bus ride. The facilities in the bus stations are a problem. So there's no bathroom on the bus. So if you're on a long bus ride, you're going to have to go to the bathroom when they stop at bus stations, which they do every couple of hours. However, the bathroom facilities in the bus stations are not very nice. So first of all, you're going to have to pay to use it. 5 pesos, which is like 5 cents, but you're going to need to have change. You're going to need to have pesos to pay the woman to go use the bathroom. So make sure you arrange that ahead of time. Get a handful of 5 peso bills or 10 pesos or whatever. Make sure you have those. You pay to get in, and once you get in, you're going to wonder why you paid, because there are no toilet seats. There are probably no toilet seats in 95% of the toilets in Cuba. Well, okay, that I saw. And of the toilets that I saw, 98% did not have toilet seats. My whole 10, 11 days in Cuba. Only the Casa Particular that I stayed in had toilet seats. Even Jose Marti International Airport in Havana did not have toilet seats. Not sure what that's about, but they don't have toilet seats. So bring some hand sanitizer. A lot of them didn't have running water either, and a lot of them didn't have paper. Bring wipes. So make sure you have sanitizer, wipes, and yeah, so like I said, they're not in nice condition, so be ready for that. I also didn't find food in most of the stations that we stopped in between Santiago de Cuba and Havana, although I heard there was food in one and that there was, like nice facilities in one. I didn't go into that one. Which brings me to my next points. There's no bathroom on the bus. We're driving overnight. They don't wake you when they stop at these bus places, the stations. And so if you have to go to the bathroom, you need to stay awake or be listening. They don't let you know they're at a bus station. And if you have to go and you fall asleep, then you have to wait for the next one, whenever that was. So I woke up one time, panicked, like, oh my God, I got to go to the bathroom. We stopped, and I went to get out of the bus, but they were already leaving. So I had to wait for the next bus stop. Let's see. So I guess my advice to you is to take the bus. Don't rent a car. Don't rent a car, take the bus. Then when you get to the city you're staying in, you can rent a taxi. You can actually rent a taxi to take you places. But when we were in Baracoa, we were able to rent a car for like the whole day and a driver for like 50 euro. And he wasn't the whole day, like not quite a work day, but something like that. So he would drive us to the beach and hang out there while we swam, and then drove us to the next place. So it was quite reasonable. And so you don't need a car. If you insist on getting a car, if you really want to rent a car while you're there, do the following things. Number one, get the car the night before you want to leave. That way you're not held up hours. Just pay the extra. Whatever it is, just get it the night before. The next thing is get a gas can or two and a funnel. And fill up, have a little extra gas in the tank, in the trunk. I know it's not the safest thing, but it's what a lot of Cuban people do. You'll notice when you're filling up, people are also filling up small tanks, gallons, buckets, whatever they got pretty much with gas, to take with them because of the shortages. So I think that's it for traveling around in Cuba. I'm going to also do a video on some other things I learned about money, buying things, etc. Happy travels.